Copilot for DevOps brings in AI-powered efficiency towards your requirement management, streamlining everything, starting from creating work items, analyzing them, creating impact assessment reports, enabling you for smarter, faster decision making at every stage of the project. What are the main key challenges when it comes to requirement management, especially when we're talking about adapting AI? Of course, when you're adapting AI, requirement management becomes a little bit difficult. It becomes a little bit challenging, such as many organizations have encountered issues such as ambiguity in your requirements. AI models can misinterpret loosely defined or inconsistent business needs, as well as lack of contextual understanding, where without a clear project or domain context, AI might suggest you a generic or off-target suggestion, as well as inconsistency when it comes to the requirement structure. Different teams may document requirements in different formats, making it harder for AI to produce the consistent outputs that each of the teams are looking for, as well as the traceability gaps that exist, ensuring that each of the requirements that you're generating or creating by leveraging AI are connected seamlessly from each other, starting from your epics to features to user stories to test cases and so on and so forth. Dependent on whatever your process template is, it is very important to ensure that there are no traceability gaps present within your project. And finally, another key challenge is compliance and governance concerns. In a regulated industry, AI outputs must align with the security, quality, as well as legal standards. These are some of the key challenges that many organizations are encountering today when adapting AI. These are all very valid as well as significant challenge. And that's exactly where custom instructions for Copilot for DevOps becomes a game changer. Custom instructions allow organizations to tailor Copilot for DevOps behavior to their own project standards, as well as domain knowledge and any and all compliance requirements. They act as a context layer that tells Copilot how to write, format, as well as prioritize information, ensuring that the AI consistently delivers all the relevant and highest of the quality outputs that you can publish into your project. Today, we'll dive deeper into how custom instructions work and how you can leverage custom instructions to refine the output when it comes to Copilot for DevOps. With custom instructions in place, Copilot becomes not just another AI assistant. It becomes a knowledge-driven partner that reflects your organization's processes, as well as quality standards and domain expertise. This slide highlights our long-standing partnership with Microsoft, positioning Copilot for DevOps as Microsoft's most trusted AI partner. Together with Modern Requirement, we have been able to consistently recognized by Infotech as well as software reviews, earning top ratings and multiple gold medals over the years. This partnership brings together Microsoft's robust infrastructure and our innovative AI capabilities, empowering organizations to evolve from your traditional DevOps practices to truly intelligent and automated DevOps ecosystem. Now here you can see Copilot for DevOps stands as the leading AI assistant that is natively integrated within Azure DevOps. Built on Azure DevOps open security framework, it ensures enterprise-grade data privacy as well as protection, giving our clients the confidence that their information always remains secure. Early adopters are already reporting the significant gains in their productivity as well as efficiency. Teams are experiencing faster authoring cycles, fewer review iterations, and a very significant measurable reduction when it comes to overall project costs. These outcomes are driven by Copilot4DevOps, most powerful feature sets designed to address some of the most time-consuming and inefficient aspects of project delivery. Copilot4DevOps includes advanced features such as requirement elicitation, automation gap analysis, AI-driven visualization, all aimed to streamline complex processes, improving decision-making as well. By automating those repetitive tasks and reducing that manual overhead, Copilot4DevOps enables teams to focus on their expertise where it matters the most, such as on compliance, innovation, as well as critical project objectives. We're truly excited to show you how it impacts the requirements management today. So without further ado, let's go through the project and show you how Copilot4DevOps works in action when it comes to your specific, one second, there we go, your specific custom instructions. So by now, you would have noticed different ways on how to invoke Copilot4DevOps. As mentioned, Copilot4DevOps is natively integrated right within Azure DevOps. You can invoke in a lot of different places, such as in backlogs. You can invoke it against any work item. Since Copilot4DevOps inherits the single sign-on as well as the process templates that you have within your ADO, you can simply invoke Copilot4DevOps against any work item, whether it be epic, feature, user story, PBI, test case, bug, task, or any custom work item as well. I'll show you how to invoke Copilot4DevOps in backlogs. Let's suppose we wanted to invoke Copilot4DevOps against this specific feature. Click on to More Options and invoke Copilot4DevOps. Once you invoke Copilot4DevOps against a specific work item, that work item becomes the reference point towards utilizing different capabilities available to you within Copilot4DevOps suite of tools. The work item that we invoke Copilot against, or the reference work item, is right up top. So you have easy access to look at exactly which work item you invoke Copilot against. And I can go ahead and switch it to any other existing work item as well, if need be. Let's talk about Elicit first. Turning ideas into structured work items can be time-consuming. So once your project requirements are mapped out, Elicit can help you easily generate structured work items based off of the reference work item. Let's suppose we invoke Copilot against this feature, and we wanted to generate user stories. Simply click on Elicit, come into here, and create user stories. Copilot4DevOps will look into the title and description, so the given output fields. If you have multiple output fields, input fields within the reference work item, you can also include those. Copilot4DevOps will look into the title and description of that work item in reference and elicit for some user stories for us. It is going to provide us output in a different output fields that are available to us. If I want to produce output for any and all different custom work item fields as well, I'm able to do that. For now, let's remove these two custom work item fields, and we just want to see user stories that contains output for title, description, as well as acceptance criteria. Click on Generate. Based off of the reference work item, Copilot4DevOps will elicit most relevant user stories that we can leverage. I can come in here, review any of these user stories that Copilot4DevOps provided us with, review different output fields on the right-hand side panel for that selected user story, and make modifications to it using AI edits. These modifications could include any uploaded attachments, any suggestions, length changes to any of these specific work item fields, or even change the readability level from elementary to expert, dependent on the audience of the specific work item. You can also make changes to it manually. Whatever changes that you make, as soon as you click on Save and Close, those changes will be available to you right here. Right now, nothing has been published. I have the option to make changes to it, select the most appropriate user stories, and then publish to this specific feature to create that traceability for us. Now, coming back to the topic of custom instructions, how can you leverage custom instructions to essentially have a template to create user stories? So every time anyone within the organization who is using Copilot for DevOps is able to produce same template-driven user story. You can do that using custom instructions. To include custom instructions, simply click on this button right here on top right-hand corner, and the custom instruction panel opens up. Here, I can write in my custom instructions for my titles themselves, as well as for my details explicitly. For your user stories, maybe you're writing or gathering requirements based off of different perspectives, such as you have a perspective of BA, perspective of QA, perspective of an external stakeholder, perspective of an analyst. Whatever perspective that you're using, you can essentially ask Copilot for DevOps to redefine the set of user stories that it provided you with and have a changed perspective available to you. Right now, all of the user stories are from a user story or as a user perspective. I can start adding in my custom instruction for a specific perspective that I'm looking for. Let's suppose I use a custom instruction such as this, use prefix product manager instead of as a user perspective. Simply write in the custom instruction that you're interested in and close the custom instruction window. Now, if I generate my user stories again, Copilot for DevOps will look into the title and description of this feature that we referenced, as well as the custom instruction that we included to refine the output to exactly your specifications. We set up the guardrail instructions to showcase all of the user stories with respect to as a product manager's perspective. And that's exactly what Copilot for DevOps provided us with. Using custom instructions, I can not only change perspective, I can also refer to compliance standards or security measures that I'm looking to include within my output. I can also include any specific template on how we want to write user stories and include that in our custom instructions. For your most reused instructions, you don't have to rewrite this again and again. What you can do is you can save this into what's known as a text block. I'll close this custom instruction panel. I'll click onto this button where it says text block. This is our text block management window where you can create your own text blocks right here. You have 3 different access tabs. You have explicit My Text Blocks folder, any shared text blocks that other individuals within your organization might have created who are using Copilot for DevOps. You can leverage those as well as some default system text blocks that are available to you. You can leverage any of these text blocks. Let's create a My Text block based off of the specific custom instruction that we just wrote. Click on the plus sign, write in a name, product manager perspective, and paste in your description for the custom instruction that you wrote. And just like that, we have saved a custom instruction as a text block so we can reuse it again and again anytime we're writing user stories. Click on done. Now, next time I'm writing my user stories, I come into Elicit. Whenever I'm gathering my requirements, I don't have to rewrite my custom instructions here. I can simply click on this button and insert the text block that I created previously. Click on insert, and there we have it. I can have as many text blocks as I want at a single point in time, and Copilot4DevOps will refer to each of the text blocks available to us that we use in order to refine the output to our exact specifications. These text blocks could include compliance standards, a template standard, a specific perspective that you're looking for, or any of the other specifications that you're looking to create in order to give you the output. Let's suppose for my user stories, specifically for my acceptance criteria, I wanted to have the acceptance criteria in a Gherkin format. I can simply come into the custom instructions for details window right here. In this prompt box, I will write in the custom instruction that I want to leverage Gherkin format for my acceptance criteria. I can either write my custom instructions here or simply create a text block. Again, to create a text block, go to text block button and create a brand new text block. I'll write in Gherkin format as a name and write in our description for the acceptance criteria. Use Gherkin format given, when, then, and structure. I can simply write in my custom instruction that I'm looking to refine the output for and save that custom instruction in form of a text block. Copilot4DevOps is designed to be a very user-friendly tool available to you. You don't have to be a prompt engineer to invoke the full capability of Copilot4DevOps. You can simply write exactly what you're looking for, explain it briefly, and rewrite the prompt. Copilot4DevOps will become your prompt engineer and fill in those contextual gaps to extract the most amount of information and have it to your specification. Once you rewrite the prompt, Copilot4DevOps will rewrite it for us. It will create the prompt for us, which is structurally perfect. I can review it. If I need to make changes to it, I can do that. Once I'm happy with my custom instruction, click on done. And now that text block is saved, which contains our specific custom instruction. So next time I'm creating any of these specific user stories, I can come into this custom instruction panel and invoke under the details prompt. Click on this blue button, and we'll utilize the Gherkin format for our acceptance criteria. Click on insert. There we have it. Cross it out. We select this specific user story. Copilot4DevOps will rewrite the entire description, title, and acceptance criteria to fit our needs. Now our acceptance criteria is in given, when, then format. Exactly how we want it to be. We can add in more custom instructions, such as, if I go in here, I'll showcase this shared text block that I created earlier, where I'm asking Copilot4DevOps to explicitly create acceptance criteria. Give me 1 second. I believe it was this one. Yes. Here I'm asking Copilot4DevOps to generate acceptance criteria in a user-friendly tone. So I can specify a tone as well based off of our different teams that we're working with. I can simply insert it. Now I have 2 text blocks present. If I choose to create another user story, Copilot4DevOps will rewrite the acceptance criteria for us. For my structural preferences, I can go into custom instructions and I can write in a text block, which will say, I want to have my acceptance criteria in bullet points. I can do that as well. I can do it scenario-based, just like how I'm asking here, and Copilot4DevOps will rewrite the acceptance criteria for us. Custom instruction is a very powerful tool when it comes to refining the output to your exact specifications. Whether it's a structural approach, a compliance standard approach, or different perspective approach, or tone approach. Any and all different approaches you need to include when it comes to your exact specifications for your requirement management, you can essentially create them into custom instructions and include it as a part of your output. Copilot4DevOps will refer to each and all of your custom instructions to refine the output to your exact specifications. If I have multiple text blocks inserted in my custom instruction panel, I can still go in here and write in my custom instructions. I don't need to only have text blocks present. I can be like, for all of my scenarios in acceptance criteria, I want them to be in bullet points. And I can have that as an add-on custom instruction to our text box as well. Simply cross it out. And Copilot4DevOps will use that standardized formatting to create the output and refine it based off of our exact specifications. There we go. Once you have utilized custom instructions and refined the output to your exact specifications, I can simply come in here, click on Create Linked Work Items, specify a link type for traceability purposes. You have access to any and all different link types available to you within ADO. Select the most appropriate ones and click on Create. For your traceability purposes, Copilot4DevOps will now publish each one of these selected specific user stories as an actual work item with a user story work item type and link it directly to this feature specifically. Now, if I open up this work item in ADO, all of these brand new user stories that we just published are present right here. This is how you can leverage custom instructions to refine the output to your specification when it comes to requirement gathering. We've created some requirements, we've created some custom instructions and saved them in text blocks. We can leverage those same custom instructions anywhere as well. If you notice, that same text block button is available right here as well, outside of any of the functionalities. If you click onto this, I can create my text blocks here. These tags explicitly mention exactly which module they were created in. So if you created a text block in Elicit, it will have a tag of Elicit. That does not mean that I cannot use this same perspective text block in another functionality. To do that, I can simply click on the plus sign, add in the tag for that functionality. Let's suppose I wanted to use this specific text block in chat. Simply write in chat, and we're good to go. Now, this specific text block will be available in chat. This will not be. So I can add as many tags as I want and utilize those same custom instructions that I created elsewhere in different functionalities within Copilot as well. Custom instruction allows you to tailor the AI output, Copilot4DevOps output, to your exact specifications. So it's a very standard best practice that you can create within different teams within your organizations to have a standard best practice approach of gathering requirements, analyzing requirements, creating links together, creating different reports together, and so on and so forth. Now we looked at the Elicit functionality where you're creating or gathering requirements. The next step is to analyze them. Analyze functionality allows you to analyze different pre-existing work item that you might have created using Copilot4DevOps or created manually to ensure that they're meeting the highest standards. Analyze module takes the guesswork out of requirement evaluation by leveraging AI to review each of the different work items for you based off of different analysis methods, such as 6Cs, Invest, Moscow, Pablo, SWOT, etc. All of these analysis methods and the analysis done on each of the individual work items are done on IIBA best practices. Let's suppose you want to do a 6Cs analysis for this feature specifically. Simply select the analysis method and click on Generate. Copilot4DevOps will analyze how well written this specific feature is based off of different quality criteria, which are the 6Cs, such as if the written requirement is clear, concise, complete, consistent, correct, concrete, or not. Based off of each of the quality criteria or each of the 6Cs, it gives you a rating out of 10, 10 being the highest. Rationale for the rating, why is it an 8? Why is it a 7 when it comes to concise? As well as any of the suggested improvements that you can implement against that specific work item to bring that overall quality score to your exact standards. By the way, a lot of our current clients are using Analyze and overall quality score as their best standard practice for their BAs or whoever are writing their requirements that, hey, all of our backlogs should have at least an overall quality score of 80 to 85%. This creates a standard best practice when you're gathering requirements and you're refining them right away. So you don't have any inconsistencies later on into the development lifecycle where your engineers are not coming back or developers not coming back and hey, we have some gaps. Something is not clear. Something is not concise. Something is not correct, and so on and so forth. It helps eliminate any inconsistencies early on to elevate the quality of the written requirements. This helps prevent any rework into the later stages of your project lifecycle. In Analyze as well, we can leverage custom instructions. If you have a custom standard or another quality criteria that you would like to leverage, you can simply come in here, open up the instruction panel, and add in your custom instructions. Maybe for your concise, explicit concise quality criteria, you want to have an additional or more stringent standard to check for the conciseness of your work items. You can essentially add in your definition here for that criteria, and Copilot4DevOps will refer to that custom instructions for conciseness explicitly. Or I can create a brand new quality criteria based off of the custom instructions that you're currently using or utilizing when it comes to scrutinizing or checking the quality of your work items in your backlog. So custom instruction is a very powerful tool. It allows you to essentially align not just the creation of work items, but also analyzing of the work items based off of your goals, project-specific goals. And you can leverage Analyze against multiple different work items as well. Right now, we're only doing it against a singular work item. If I wanted to do it against multiple work items, I can simply select the different work items that I have, and I can leverage Analyze for it. For instance, we will quickly open up the brand new user stories that we created. I believe it was 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 for customized survey. There we go. These are the brand new user stories that we created. I can select multiple work items and invoke Copilot against it. Once I invoke Copilot against multiple different work items, you'll see a different viewing experience when it comes to the tools available to you. Copilot4DevOps can be utilized one of the two ways. It can be utilized based off of a singular work item as a reference point, or multiple work items as a reference point. You won't see Elicit against multiple work items because Elicit only drives or is driven by a singular work item in reference. And same is the case with other functionalities. So if you notice, there are a little less functionalities available when you have multi-select for your work items. And here is analyze. Let's suppose you wanted to do Moscow analysis against your multiple different user stories. Simply click into analyze, and we want to analyze the acceptance criteria of these user stories as well. So I'll go to the analyze window, add an acceptance criteria, and select the analysis method to be Moscow. Click on generate, and Copilot4DevOps will parse through each of these specific user stories that we provided it as a reference, look into his title, description, as well as acceptance criteria, and split those user stories up based off of the must-haves, should-haves, could-haves, and won't-haves criteria. These priority criteria are provided to you right here. Each of the different user stories are split between the different priority criteria. It gives you a priority rating for each of those specific priorities, rationale for the rating, as well as any of the suggested improvements that we can implement against those specific user stories to bring the overall priority score higher. If I have additional stringent criteria that, hey, XYZ criteria a user story must have for it to qualify for a should have criteria, I can simply come into custom instructions and write those definitions right here for that criteria. And based off of that, Copilot4DevOps will revamp your Moscow analysis based off of that specific definition of criteria that you provided it with. And again, for any of the custom instructions that you write here, you can leverage rewrite. So Copilot4DevOps becomes your prompt engineer to extract the most benefit out of leveraging AI, as well as you can save those instructions in form of a text block and then invoke it at any time. So that is how you can use custom instructions when it comes to analyze. And you can do the same when it comes to convert and transform functionalities as well. For your convert functionality, you can quickly convert any of the referenced work items, such as right now we have a feature as a reference work item, and the most appropriate fields of this feature are title and description that we want to convert it to perhaps a Gherkin format. Simply select to convert it to Gherkin format, click on generate. Copilot4DevOps will generate the Gherkin format output for us, which we can publish into this exact feature and or even replace it with the pre-existing description. This is the output that it provides you. I can create a brand new work item, link it to this feature, which contains this exact output, or add it to the field of the feature itself. I can select exactly which work item field I wanted to include this in. I can replace the pre-existing description with this scenario-based Gherkin format, or even I can add it to the top or bottom of this existing description, this Gherkin format. Even here, I can go into custom instructions and provide custom instructions to align exactly the way we want to have the output as. If I have a standardized approach of even writing the Gherkin format, I can write in those custom instructions here and the definitions as well as the criteria for that. And Copilot4DevOps will refer to the custom instructions in order to refine the output for you. Once you have your custom instructions for that, you can add it to the field of your description. And I'll just add it to the bottom. Now, if I open up my feature again, let me refresh. There we go. Before, we only had a description. Now we have scenario-based Gherkin format within the description as well for each of the different scenarios we're including in this feature. Using convert, I can convert any of the work items that I have in my backlog to a use case or a user story. Simply select the exact converted to format, and Copilot4DevOps will convert your referenced work item into that format. And then I can leverage custom instructions and transform as well. Whatever pre-existing work item you have as a reference point, I can convert it to or transform it to summarize the description, paraphrase the description, or even elaborate the description. I even have the capability to translate to different languages in my description. If I don't find a language here, I can simply come in here in my custom instruction, I can add in that language that I want my entire description to be translated to the language that I didn't find in this list. Custom instruction can be leveraged using Copilot4DevOps in a lot of different ways. It doesn't just have to do with perspective changes. It doesn't just have to do with compliance standards or a templates in terms of exactly how you want to write your requirements, but also how you want to preview them as. Custom instructions are your guideline instructions that allows you to refine the output based off of your specifications. Custom instructions can be used multiple ways. Those same custom instructions that we created right here, such as this one, I can use it in chat. So I don't have to write in exactly what I'm looking for. I can just invoke this specific text block and Copilot4DevOps will do the work for me. As you're very well familiar with chat functionality is one of the latest inclusion within Copilot4DevOps suite of tools, where you have a very interactive assistance platform that is provided to you right within Azure DevOps environment. Using chat, you can communicate with your Azure DevOps project through simple conversational interactions. You can come in here, ask a simple question. You can refer to a specific work item, ask a question about that. You can analyze a set of work items based off of queries. You can create a brand new work items based off of a documentation that you might upload. And guess what? Right here, you have the ability to insert the text box as well. We included a chat for this specific PM perspective. If I wanted to, I can come in here, upload an attachment. Let's find a requirement specification documentation. Let's see. Let's suppose this is our requirement specification documentation. I can have Copilot4DevOps analyze the uploaded attachment to create brand new user stories. For that, I'll simply come in here and I can be like, refer to the uploaded attachment to create 4 new user stories. I want description and acceptance criteria as well for all 4 user stories. I can also write in, I want it to review it first, so don't publish it just yet. And I can converse with chat functionality. Copilot4DevOps will analyze the uploaded documentation, which might contain your project specification requirements, different use cases, different user stories, different diagrams. It might contain a specific attachment for or an image of a UI. Based off of that, Copilot4DevOps will analyze the entirety of the documentation and extract 4 relevant user stories. Here, I was like, just writing 4 new user stories. I can even specify exactly what kind of user stories I want to extract out of this specific documentation. And Copilot4DevOps will do it for me. It provided 4 draft of user stories for me, which I can quickly review it based off of their description, as well as their acceptance criteria. Let's suppose for my acceptance criteria, I want it to be in Gherkin format. Instead of writing it here, I want the acceptance criteria to be in Gherkin format. Remember, we created a text block for it. I can simply insert text block, select the text block that I'm looking for. That text block is not available to me for Gherkin because I didn't attach a chat tag to it. So let's do that. Let's go back. This is the Gherkin format. I'll simply add in the tag for chat. We're good to go. Now, I'll invoke the text block again. There we go. Our Gherkin format text block is available for us to use within chat as well. Here I'm asking Copilot4DevOps to provide the acceptance criteria in Gherkin format, given, when, and then statements. I can simply insert it. There we go. I can simply send it. Copilot4DevOps will rewrite these draft of the user stories based off of the text block that we just inserted. It will refine the output based off of the exact specification that we asked it to do. And as you can see, it's refining the acceptance criteria for all the user stories based off of the Gherkin format exactly to our specifications. I can review it quickly. If I'm happy with it, I can go, okay, let's publish these user stories to an actual work item in our backlogs. Let's suppose these brand new user stories needed to be linked to this specific feature. This does not contain any work item right now as a child link type. I can simply come in here, copy the work item ID, go back to our chat, and I can be like, publish these user stories to my project, link it as a child link type to feature ID. There we go. I can also specify I want my description in the description field, acceptance criteria in the acceptance criteria field, and also the priority of all these user stories to be 2. Simply send it. Based off of exactly what we conversed with Copilot4DevOps, Copilot4DevOps will create those links for us. We'll publish those specific user stories as a child link type to this specific feature. It will have the ID, title, link type, as well as acceptance criteria and the priority that we set it to, and link it all together to this feature explicitly. And the great thing about Copilot4DevOps chat functionality tells you if it's running into an error. It tells you at each step of the way what the next step should be. what you should be doing. Let's try the alternative approach. In Copilot for DevOps, based off of exactly what we're asking it to do, we'll publish these user stories as a child link tag to this feature specifically. If you notice, it's bringing in the information in real time. Using chat functionality, we're talking to our ADO project in real time and making changes to it. I can open up any of these user stories that it just linked for us. So it didn't accept the acceptance criteria for some reason. Let me see what it says. Open up this work item. By the way, for each of the published work items in chat, it gives you the URL link that takes you directly to that work item that you just published. Okay, so we don't have acceptance criteria. Make sure to add the acceptance criteria as well to these user stories. That will do it for us. If you notice, it changed the priority to 2 as well, while retaining the traceability with the parent feature. For all of these different prompts that I'm adding in here, such as this prompt, I can save this prompt for my next usage as well. So I can come in here, create a text block out of it, call it user story draft. And in my description, have that specific chat that I used in order to get the exact output that I was looking for. Simply save it. Next time I'm creating any of this workflow, anytime, I can simply come in here. Instead of writing the whole prompt, I can simply insert this text block. And I can attach my requirement specification documentation. That's the power of custom instructions as well as text blocks that you can leverage to refine the output to fit your needs. If you have a certain standard that you're looking for, a certain ISO compliance that you're looking for, a certain security compliance that you're looking for, that you need to be aligned with when it comes to your different work item types, you can essentially provide Copilot for DevOps directives in terms of custom instructions, and Copilot for DevOps will refine the output to fit your needs. I can leverage custom instruction and other functionalities as well, such as QA assistant, dynamic prompt, diagram, mockup, generate, and so on and so forth. Any of the custom instructions that I want to add, I can insert the text block right here, such as in my diagram. I have the prompt window open right here. I can start typing in my prompt for the specific type of diagram that I'm trying to create, whatever type of diagram I'm trying to create. We have mapped Copilot for DevOps to populate the prompt for you for ease of use. So for state diagram, this is the prompt. For a flowchart type of diagram, this is the prompt. If I want to specify exactly what I'm looking for in a flowchart diagram, I can start adding in more descriptive material within our prompt. And Copilot for DevOps will refine it for us. And that descriptive prompt that we provided here, I can save it as a text block and later on invoke it. This allows us to refine any and all different outputs that Copilot for DevOps provides us to align it with our needs and our specifications to exactly what we're looking to create. So from brainstorming, when it comes to your QA assistant, from creating content or creating work items using Elicit to refining it using Analyze or Chat or even Dynamic Prompt, or even Convert and Transform, to creating an impact assessment for a change of management or a change request. Copilot4DevOps automates the efforts, allowing your teams to work faster and smarter with greater precision by allowing you to leverage custom instructions. Thank you so much. That will be all for the demonstration purposes. We'll take the Q&A now. All right, so when I convert a feature to Gherkin and it creates multiple scenarios, can I create multiple Gherkin user stories rather than a single user stories? Of course. This is a great question. In order to do that, you can simply go to your either convert or let's go to Elicit. Let's suppose we wanted to create user stories based off of those different scenarios and create user stories for those scenarios. I can simply come into my custom instructions and write in that custom instruction. For all the different scenarios, create a separate user story for it, and simply have that custom instruction added on to your Elicit functionality. The next time, whenever you're creating Gherkin format user stories, the different scenarios that it is based off of, it will generate a brand new user story based off of the different scenarios. Excellent question. Any more questions? Please feel free to add your or ask the question in the chat, and we will tackle it one by one. We'll give it a few minutes. Thank you so much, Melissa, for asking that question. And thank you so much for the elaboration on your reply as well. It made total sense. You can definitely, as I mentioned, you can definitely create user stories for Gherkin for each of the different scenarios rather than having all of the scenarios in a single user story. Leveraging custom instructions combined with text box allows you to compartmentalize the output that you're looking for as well. So if that's the standardized approach for writing user stories within your organization, you can definitely do that. By the way, using custom instruction combined with text box, you can leverage the exact prompts. As I mentioned in chat, we created a specific tag for the Gherkin format, right? This is it. We have a chat Gherkin format included that we can insert in the chat. This is a great way to share your prompts that you leveraged to create an output using Copilot4DevOps, using chat functionality explicitly as well. Let's suppose I used a specific prompt to create a RACI table. Create a RACI table in a readable HTML table format for the following user stories. By the way, in chat, I can leverage explicit work item ID. Oh, I shouldn't have sent this. I can leverage specific queries as well. So if I click on the, or use the asterisk, any and all different queries that we might have created, we can leverage that. So if I have all user stories query ready, I can leverage this. And I will simply add in this prompt. Let's suppose this is a prompt that other individuals within your organization might find it useful. You can simply save this prompt in the custom instruction. Have it in the shared text block, new, and we can call it user stories RACI table, and write in that prompt. So next time anyone within your organization wants to create a RACI table and leverage the prompt that you refined, because every prompt is explicit. In order to extract the exact specifications to which you're looking for, you need to keep on refining it by keep on leveraging the specifications that you're looking for, as well as rewriting the prompt. Once you finalize the final version of a single prompt, you can save it as a text block, so other individuals who are using Copilot for DevOps within your organization will be able to leverage that same prompt to get the same result that you received. That's a very powerful tool as well. Any questions? We are on top of the hour. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today. It was a pleasure. And feel free to reach out to us at any time. If you have any questions, we will be happy to accommodate. And thank you so much for joining today. My name was Shahir. And have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much.